The worst was when I went to KMET. And at the time, I'd been doing gigs. I'd done a real lucky gig. I was asked by a event coordinator to do a gig for their client. And would I meet their client first? And would I caravan behind her to the client's house? So I said, okay. And I followed her, and we went up to Malibu, and we turned off just by Paradise Cove and went up the canyon. And she goes, this is Barbara, and this is Richard.
No, not Barbara Streisand.
Exactly.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Barbara Streisand?
She was my first big gig that I did. And it was her son's bar mitzvah for Jason Gould, the son of Elliot and Barbara.
Yeah.
And she put on this, she was the nicest person. Everyone said afterwards, oh, Guy, yeah, she's such a bitch and all this kind of stuff. She couldn't have been nicer. If you show up and do your job, she treated you like gold. The waitress who served me my food was Barbara Streisand. I mean, couldn't have been nicer. And she had everyone there. I mean, David Geffen was there. Neil Diamond was there.
Were you starstruck?
Not by her, because I didn't play her music much. I was in the clubs at the time. If it had been Anita Ward who was there, you can ring my bell.
But also, didn't she have that song, and we got nothing to be guilty of? That was a little disco-y.
Yeah, a little disco-y. And You Don't Bring Me Flowers with Neil Diamond.
Neil
So I
Diamond.
played that in the ballad section. But obviously, I knew who she was. I knew she was one of the biggest singers in the world.
Oh, yeah.
But there were so many other people there. Larry Hagman was there. And
Dallas.
so, yeah, and that was the great thing. He enjoyed the party so much. He took one of my business cards, and then I did the party at his house for the rap party for season 1 of Dallas.
So wait a minute. You started doing, so people, word of mouth, are you saying?
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth, Richard Blade, he's the guy.
Dick Shepherd at the time.
Dick Shepherd.
Dick
And then you
Shepherd.
saw a movie, Ryan, you might have heard of this, called Blade Runner.
No, well, I saw it advertised, because the whole thing was, I did all these parties, and then I did one for Zsa Zsa Gabor.
Oh, yeah.
And that was up in the hills, and it's one of the stilt houses.
Right.
And there were 2 people there that I was just thrilled to meet. One of them was my all-time favorite movie actor, and I'd never met him before. And the amazing thing was, I met him again 2 weeks later, never again.
Who?
He came up to me. I saw him, and I said, could I tell you something kind of weird? And he said, why? What? And I said, I went to school with a wet underarm because of you for about 3 weeks. And he said, why would that be? And I said, because my James Bond water pistol shoulder holster kept leaking. And he goes, I had one of those as well. I used to collect all of the memorabilia from the Bond movies.
Sean Connery.
I know. And he was incredible. He was everything.
You see, you're meeting your heroes, and they're nice.
But
that's rare.
And they were everything you wanted them to be.
That's rare.
He looked
Met
like
a lot of assholes, Richard.
Yeah.
I've met a lot of assholes.
If he looked like if he punched you, you were going down. He looked
Tough
like
guy, real man.
He looked like Bond.